Alright, welcome back, people. Episode 5 on methods of ISK for new alpha players. My name is Eve Noob, and thank you for joining me today. If you've been following the series so far, we've done quite a bit in terms of looking at a couple of methods for new players, and today we're going to be specifically looking at clone soldier tags. Clone soldier tags is an interesting mechanic in the game where we can actually go out, kill specific types of NPCs, and the ISK reward is pretty good. So to give you a bit of background, in EVE there is a thing called security space, security status I should say, and when you are going through security status losses, you can then go back to normal security status by handing in these things called clone soldier tags, which will help you go from status A to status B and go into from negative to null. And that means you can fly in high security space again. So today we're specifically going to target those NPCs that drop those tags, because those tags can be worth quite a bit of money. Clone soldier tags are interesting in the sense that you can actually farm them yourself, or you can purchase them. And if you do purchase them, it's going to cost you quite a bit of money, because some of the tags that are required are going to be a lot more expensive than the others. So I'm just going to bring up here the different types of tags sorry, that you can actually procure. So a good way to look at, I guess, all the different security tags is to go to the EVE Uni website, the Uni Wiki. I'll show you that now. So here are all the security tags that are available, and you can see here that there's sort of 4 different tag types that are going to assist you in getting what you need to get. Now, over here, you can see where these tags are dropped. So the bronze ones, I think they're just the trainer tags. They're found in 0.4. The recruiter tags are found in 0.3. The transporter tags are found in 0.2. And the negotiator tags are found in 0.1. The ones that make you decent ISK are these ones here, the transporter and the negotiator tags, because they are in lower security space. And essentially, you're going to have a look at, I guess, where you can find that. These NPCs don't spawn all the time, so it's going to take a bit of time to suss out and find a pocket to farm these in. Generally what I do is I find a chain of pockets that sort of go 0.4, 0.3, 0.2, 0.1. That way I'm always busy, I'm always looking for clone soldiers, and I'm always moving around. Because the other part to this is there is a bit of risk around it, in the sense that you are going to go into low security space where players are looking for fights, players are looking to kill you, and yeah, you got to be careful about that. So essentially you want to be in there, trying to get as many things as possible. Alright, so how do we do this? What do we need to do? Let's go back to the game. So first thing is we need to find a fit that works for us. So destroyers are perfect for this. Destroyers are basically going to be, I guess, your aim is going to be to get in really close, and it's going to be to get in there and have a good fight in there. So I'm going to go and get a Thrasher. I find the Thrasher to be the best for this, so let's have a quick look. I don't think I've got a fit set up yet, so let's start that fit there. Now, when you're fitting ships, always right click, show info, and look at what they're traded for. So the Thrasher is a Minotaur destroyer. It's traded for small projectile turrets, and it's got a bonus to tracking, to damage, and to range. So it's a perfect ship for us. And then we're going to go in and we're going to start fitting it up. Now, as an alpha character, I don't know if you can actually get Tech 2 guns, I can't remember, but we can basically have a look here. Projectile turrets. I like to go autocannon, personally, but it's up to you what you want to go. So it looks like I can do autocannon, Tech 2 autocannons, I think. Let me just double check. Yeah, we can. I don't think we'll be able to fit a full 200 mil, because it's going to start to... Oh yeah, we can actually, so that's fine. So 200 millimeter auto cannons. It's got a optimal range of 8. Fall off range of 8, optimal range of 2. That's fine. We're gonna get nice and close with this. You do have a launcher slot as well, a hard point. I generally just put a rocket launcher on there. An arbalest is fine. Extra damage, you need all the damage you can get. With propulsion, we want to burn in as fast as we can. Some of these NPCs do have points and scrams, so you got to be careful. So I generally fit an afterburner. Now you can go 10 MN, but this is going to heavily negate your power and CPU. 1 MN will get you about 700 meters per second. 10 MN will get you to 1,324.9 meters per second. So it all just depends on your what you have and how you can stay stable and how you can, I guess, keep up with the damage. So I put that in there. I do put a web in. It does help quite a bit. So just a compact web. If you can fit 2, go for it. And then in the low slots, I'm basically going to trade these guns. So I believe, let me just put some charges in here and make sure I'm putting the right one. I think that's the charge I'm looking for. Yep, that's the charge. So we're already at 153 DPS, which is good. So in the gyro stabs are basically going to clock you up to 225 deeps. We just want to min-max. We don't really care about shields. We don't care about damage control, because once you're within 500 meters of range of the NPC, they're not going to be able to hit you. If you're orbiting 500 meters, they can't track you and you'll be fine. In the rigs, we can add more DPS here. So the I believe the burst aerator and the collision aerator is going to give you the extra trait, and then you go 252.7 DPS, 8.3 mil. This is a Tech 2 fit with Tech 1.5 modules. So this will give you a decent fit to go out. Now don't forget to put your ammo in as well. You don't want to end up not having ammo. We've also got to put some rockets into. You can swap the ammo out to have traded ammo for the space that you're in. So just look at what you're going to fight and then get the ammo that's associated with that. With this, we just put in, I'm just going to put in Inferno. There we go, 267 DPS. All right, so I'm going to buy this up. I'm going to fit it, and then we're going to talk about, scouting out potential targets. Alrighty, we now have our Thrasher fitted up and ready to go. So now we need to look for, I guess, an area of the map where we can actually go out and start farming these things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to .lan. If you remember a couple of episodes, we talked about .lan and how useful it can be. And we're going to go look at, I'm in Amar at the moment, which is over here. We're going to go look for chains where it could lead to a dead end, like down here. And also it's got systems neighboring that aren't necessarily going to be on routes for us to get ganked. Now, one thing to think about when you're doing things like this is where are most of the players going to be? What are they going to be doing in those areas? And how do you avoid them to make sure that you have an optimal experience? So dead end systems are perfect. Dead end systems, if you think about it, when you're putting things like the GPS on to look for somewhere to go, these systems won't come up on paths because they connect to nothing but the adjacent system. So dead end systems I've found to be perfect for going and doing some farming of NPCs. Another one here which is safer might be Zanka. What you have to also realize is sometimes corporations set up in these systems because they are dead end systems, but it's just something to consider. So down here we've got a system that's pretty much dead end. I'm going to have a look at the quick statistics. There hasn't really been ships killed in here. NPC kills has been okay. Not many jumps in here either in the last hour or so. So this is going to be perfect for me to go and set up. Now it's called Refurb, so I'm going to go and set that up in my GPS. So let's just go do that. There it is. So we've got about 10 jumps to get there. Now, this over here is a bit of a concern. So we've got low security jumps going into there. we need to make sure that there's no gate camps on the way. Another third-party tool is there is a website called the Eve Gate Camp Check. So Eve Gate Camp Check is very, very useful. So I'll just go here, and you can see what I can do is I can type in where I'm traveling from to where I'm traveling to. I'm not avoiding anything, and I'm going the shortest distance. Please tell me if there has been any weird activity. And as you can see, it shows me that there has been minimal kills, none at the gates, which means I'm probably going to be safe. Sometimes this isn't 100% accurate, so make sure you're using the in-game tools as well to check that there is nothing interesting going on. Things like D-scan, checking local, all that sort of good stuff. But for now, it looks pretty safe, which means I can go out and go get myself set up in refurb, ready to go. Well, very important, do not forget your ammo. Don't forget your ammo, because you're gonna have to come back and, you know, basically get all your ammo again. It could be very painful. So we've got everything we need. I'm going to head off to refurb now, and I'll see you when I get there. Okay, so we are back now here. Basically, we're one jump out from a low security system. So Mr. connects to Kerem. Kerem's a 0.4 system. And I want to show you how to use your intelligence. So you can see here I've got my D-scan up. Now this is basically scanning all around me and checking what ships are about in 14 AU distance. So I can see there's people mining. I also know that in local there's quite a few people there at the moment. So there's 12 people in local at the moment, 2 people just jumped out. So you need to always be looking around and making sure you know what's going on. Now when I go into Kerem, I've noticed that there's only 1 person in local. Now if I can get this guy on my directional scan as soon as I come in, it will make a world of difference, but I actually can't. So basically, I know that there's potentially someone in this system. They could be docked, so for all purposes, we don't know where they are. But I can safely farm it. Now, this is a 0.4 system, which means I'm probably not going to get the clone soldiers I want, but I can go have a look. Look how many, there's a lot of belts in here as well, which means I've got a lot of opportunity to go and farm. So all we're going to do, I do it like this, but you can do it whichever way you want. I right click, and I go one by one in my asteroid belt list, so that I know exactly which ones I'm looking at and where I've been. Make sure you have NPCs enabled in your overview, so when you warp into a belt, you know exactly what NPCs you're going after. Now with this fit, you can actually kill all the NPCs. Most of them are not going to be an issue. Sleepers are obviously the big problem, be careful with them, but you'll be able to kill, you know, all of the NPCs with this fit. It's not going to be an issue at all. So first belt, empty. Let's go to the next belt. This is all we're going to be doing, looking for clone soldiers particularly, until we find them. And I've got, you know, another 4 systems that I can do the same in. Keep your D-scan up, keep your eye on local, make sure you're looking if there's anyone new coming in. Keep scanning as you're flying around. The hotkey is V for the scanning. Just to make sure that, you know, there's nothing sus going on around you. Looks like this system is, someone's been mining here potentially. I reckon it was those orcas that we had in the previous system, but we can have a look and just keep going. You never know. There's a lot of belts in here, so it could be okay. So essentially this is it. This is what we do to hunt down clone soldiers. There probably is smarter ways to do it, but that's what I'm doing right now, trying to find the clone soldiers in particular. Yeah, it looks like, you know, someone's come through here and mined all these nodes out, but that's fine. We might find an NPC. So what I'll do right now is I'll try and hunt one down, and then I'll show you how to fight them. Okay, we have finally gotten one. It was the very last belt, which is hilarious. So you want to basically, as soon as you land, you're going to be 30k off, and you need to mitigate that damage. So what I'm doing right now is I've landed. I'm keeping my scan up. I'm approaching, and I've got my speed on, and I want to get into 500 meter orbit. That's basically what you want to do. So once you get into orbit, he's not going to be able to hit you. And then once I got my webs on him, he's not going to be. I can track him a lot easier. And clone soldiers here, it's just going to be, you know, the regular one. What you want to make sure though is you keep within that 500. You don't want to get far out, because then they're going to be able to hit you. So I basically go between approach, and once I get right within the range I need to, then I orbit. So, you know, once I hit that about 1,500, there we go, and then I orbit straight away. That way, you know, you're not pinging off him. This one is a cruiser, so it will go down fast. In other security spaces, lower ones, you're going to get battleships, which is going to be easier. But these go down pretty fast. Like once you get into your optimals, you get to that 500. I can even probably turn my prop mod off now because he's webbed, and I approach. Try to get in under his guns is basically what you want to do. Be careful when you're approaching, because you don't want to go too slow, because then he'll be able to track you. And you basically just go in for the kill. So he's almost down. I'm just approaching. Keep your eyes on your D-scan, because you are in low security space. Approach him and orbit. Basically I'm toggling between approach and orbit, because if you just orbit, you will ping off because of speed. And once he's down, there we go. Open that cargo, and 1.6 mil for the 0.4 soldier tag, which is not bad. Oops, I've pinged off the wreck, so I've got to go back and approach that. So there you go. That's how you kill the clone soldiers. Now, because I'm in shield, I could probably just go dock up and undock, and it will be fine. You know, that was a 0.4 space clone soldier. The ones in 0.1 will probably be worth about 50 times this. So in one system, we made an easy 2 mil. And I didn't kill all the NPCs in this system. I only killed that one you saw earlier and the clone soldier. So it's pretty quick. If you have the luck is a big factor in this, in the sense that, you know, finding these clone soldiers. So I'm gonna go and try and find a few more, and then I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna hopefully find a battleship. I'm gonna go straight to refurb, and I'm gonna try and find the battleship to show you what I mean by the bigger drops. So I'll be back soon. Alrighty, we've found another one. It's actually the same as what we got before, and we landed pretty much on top of him, so it's actually pretty good for us this time. I'm going to try and get in as close as possible. Again, it's pretty much the same concept here. Get in under 500 and shoot. I've turned my prop mod off in hopes that I can get through his shields pretty quickly and keep my cap up. But we should be able to get through this one pretty quick. Now, you might notice this time I've been oh shit, I have actually been webified. So some of these guys, they do have webs and points, so you do have to be careful, and you need to make sure you keep your range. Now, the prop mod is actually going to do me a massive favor on this one, but I have been hit into hull now, so I need to be super careful. I've aligned to sun. I shouldn't have done that. I need to be really careful, really careful, because now that I'm in hull, he could potentially two-shot me if he gets a volley off. So the orbit is what's going to help you here. Keep your orbit, because you don't want to get hit by him. That's the main thing here. So I am trying to keep orbit and approach sort of in line, because I don't want to go in a straight line at all. If I do, he's going to end up shooting me down. You can see it's pretty tanky. We will get through it eventually, but yeah, the Sancha ones are pretty strong actually. You've got to be careful. I'm hoping I don't die here. I might have to turn off one of these webs because my cap's at half. I did tick some damage then. I need to get a bit closer to him. It's not good. Not good, not good. I'm trying to sustain here, but I am ticking damage. I might need to line out soon and warp off. We don't have a station in here either, which is a bit of a worry. And we're out of ammo on the rockets, but that's fine. Come on, go back to orbit. Ticking damage, which is not good. I think these rocks around him are making me bump. But we might be able to get away with it just. So we've ticked him below where we are. If we can get him to hull, we'll be okay. But it's all about being aware of your cap, being aware of your ammo, being aware of your mods. I might even overheat to finish him off, but it looks like I've ticked into his hull now, which is great. We are in a little destroyer, you need to remember that. With a cruiser, it's harder. Battleships are actually easier, believe it or not, because they don't hit you when you're in 500. But this dude will hit you in 500. You just got to make sure you're aware of where you are. I'm going to overheat to finish him off because I need that extra damage. I need to basically put everything on this dude now. There we go. So, there you go. We've now killed him. Make sure we don't destroy the loot. 32.7 mil. And it's as easy as that. But we are in... Oops. We are in, like... we did take a bit of damage there. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to Unafish. I think there might be a system there that I can... there's a station there that I can dock. I'm going to dock, I'm going to repair, and then I'm going to go out. I'll remember I was at 7.5, so then I can go to 7.6 and continue on. With this much loot in your hull, you might want to take this back and sell it, or you might want to continue on. The risk of dying with your loot is obviously there, so you got to be careful. But it's pretty much that. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope this makes you a bit of ISK, because you can see if you actually get a couple of these, you can do 100 to 200 mil ISK in under an hour. There is a bit of a luck factor involved, in the sense that you need to have multiple clone soldiers to make this profitable. So luckily there's a player-owned station here, but yeah, essentially you can do this.